Day 38. We're ice climbing.
Awesome.
We've done one climb so far. Well, I did one. Alex did two. My feet hurt, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do the second one.
When your technique's a little off, it can hurt pretty bad.
It's not the technique.
I
These
know.
boots are squeezing my feet.
I know, but even when your technique's off a little bit, it hurts.
My technique was perfect. You'll see in the video. Hello.
Howdy.
Today, we ice climbed. Alex did way better
Awesome.
than me, but I did it.
That was pro. You did awesome.
I did as good as I could.
It was steep. The first routes were steep for the very first, like, beginner stuff.
Yeah, the first route we went on, I thought was going to be like this progressively harder thing. And the first one we did was like straight up.
It was like a 30-foot high, just like rolled up, and then it went whoop, for about 15 feet straight. And it's like, wow, this is straight.
Yeah. So then they gave us my feet were hurting pretty bad after that one. I got up the wall. I wasn't scared of the height. It was my feet. And the boots are very similar to ski boots, where they have to be super tight, and they were squishing the nerve in my foot that I already knew I had an issue with.
And then you start smashing your foot into the rock.
And then you have to kick the rock or the ice. Yeah, you have to kick the ice. And so now my toes hurt because I'm kicking the end of the boot. And it got to the point where I just couldn't. I was using my toes to lift myself up, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It just hurt.
Definitely.
But you made it all the way.
It was more difficult than you would ever put somebody on rock climbing for their first time, for sure.
Really?
It was basically steep, but it was easier in a lot of ways because the entire ice face was yours to play with. You could grab here, grab there, kick here, kick there. Whatever you felt like doing, you just did it. There's probably technique and skill involved, but it wasn't necessary for that. So I felt like you could just climb a lot harder, which was really cool. And it's super cool having a big bomber grip to just grab onto and just hang off of it from the ice axe. That was really cool.
So then second climb, he gave us a choice and said either we can go and walk to a couple more routes that were going to be harder, or go to a more scenic route that would be easier but required a rappel down first. So we chose the rappelling one. Everybody wanted to do that one except me.
Well, I didn't want to. I wanted
the harder.
I wanted the hard straight away.
Well,
as soon as I realized I could do it, I was like, let's go.
Yeah, well, so then we kind of devised a plan that, well, let's choose the more scenic one. I didn't really want to do it because I did not want to go off the ledge backwards. That would have freaked me out. So that was going to save us time. So then we kind of thought, well, if we do that, then maybe there's time to go do the harder route that Alex would want to do.
I never said I wanted to. I kept my mouth
But
shut.
we kind of,
y'all knew I wanted
we knew you wanted to, and to make you happy. So we went and did the rappelling one first with the more scenic view, and it was really cool.
You didn't know what was coming. You just walked backwards to the ledge and you looked off and you're like, wow, that's so cool.
So he set up a line for the partner to be able to videotape. So I got to rope in at the top so I could get close to the edge and video him going down.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was really cool looking down.
Probably 40, 50 feet dropped off. It's hard rappelling with your crampons on. It's really sketchy. But you rappel off kind of a rolled off edge, and then it goes off a steep edge, and then it gets down to the bottom where the water's literally running through, and it drops off about 6 feet. And you just stand in the river, and you're standing in about 6 inches of water when you start to climb.
Yeah.
And you go up over this, like, it was almost overhung that first bit, and then it sort of went straight up again and rounded. It was so cool, just the river, and you could just hear, just like right here, the river's just rushing below you. And
That was cool.
Yeah, it was really neat.
So the three, we were with another couple, so there was a total of four of us. So three went down, and then he said there was time to go do the more difficult one. So we walked over there, and there was literally water running down the glacier. It was like a waterfall glacier, basically.
Yeah, it was shimmering.
It was shimmering, and so when I videotaped him, I could see his reflection when he got up higher. You can see his reflection that because it's so shiny and so icy. But it made the rock or the ice harder.
It made the ice really hard. You had to really kick it hard to get your, like, you could get your tool in okay, but your feet were hard. You really had to have good kick technique. My feet kept slipping out.
Yeah.
That one was, what was that, maybe 40, 50 feet tall? First one was 30, it was probably 50.
And he said it was the most difficult climb in.
It's about as hard as the glacier ice can get because
Yeah.
of the way the ice forms and whatnot. So it started off, it kind of rolled out for 5 or 10 feet. Then it was pretty much vertical for the whole thing until the very top. The top, maybe 15 feet. I'd say it pitched back about 5 degrees. It was overhung for sure. That got real challenging because you had the technique is to, obviously keep the ice axe in the ice. But when you're overhung, you're trying to rip it out, downward. You don't have that other downward force. I didn't have good technique there, and you see the first time I slip off the thing, the ice axe came straight back, and I just bashed myself in the face. I just wasn't wearing the other glasses, man. I'd have gave myself a black eye.
Well, we were required to wear glasses, either sunglasses or regular glasses, because when you hit the ice, it comes flying back at you.
Shards are all over.
Yeah.
But there's ice chunks falling, right? You're trying to take the tool out, and there's a chunk of ice like that big that just drops. You got to shout, ice.
Yeah.
I was pretty gentle taking the tool out of the ice.
So then everybody else climbed, and then they didn't make it up nearly as far as Alex.
I finished it.
Yeah, and then they convinced me to at least try. So even though my feet were still hurting, I was like, fine, I'll try. So I made it up the first little part, and then I get to the wall, the part where it's straight up, and it's my toes again. Like as soon I get the ice picks in, but as soon as I get my toes in, I'm trying to step up and I can't because it hurts too bad. So I ended up just giving up after a couple of tries, and I had a little swing on the.
Yeah, you rappel down, you're dangling around. I totally did.
I swung around a little bit.
He's a swinger.
Yeah. So then last we were like, asked the guide, like, hey, do you want to
put your life in Alex's hands and have
because he was excited that Alex could belay.
Yeah.
So he, in the beginning, he's like, oh, maybe you could belay me. And so we were like, let's let him go up.
Yeah, so he had much better technique. He could smack that tool right straight in the ice first go. And
he made it up in 3 minutes. I recorded it. It was 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think I was 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
But he also had to go all the way over the lip.
Yeah.
Because he was going to pull the anchor. So he
right.
went a bit further than I did even.
Yeah.
But his foot technique was so much better. He short stepped his feet up, and then he moved wide and kicked a platform, and then moved wide and kicked a platform. But he did it really efficiently.
Yeah.
So he was really triangulated out and a lot easier. But he said it was still super hard for him. The overhang really got him pumped up. And he told me afterwards he was heading back out there with his friends on his day off.
Oh, nice.
He liked that route. It was hard.
Nice.
Oh, okay, I guess it's something.
Yeah.
It didn't seem overly difficult to me, but maybe that's as hard as it gets.
Maybe.
I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah.
If we had more ice around Seattle, I'd go do that. I mean, top rope was great. If I got to lead the route, I don't know about that.
So what was the best part of the day for you?
I mean, ice climbing for sure, but I really enjoyed the glacier. We
Yeah.
don't get glaciers like that in Seattle. It was these crazy deep blue lines just rip through. Like you have these carve outs, and then these deep blue lines you could see were there long before the carve outs, and they still remain. They were just like rivers that went through and made super blue ice, and then probably refroze.
Yeah.
You could be walking like on this gravel, and you're literally walking on sheet ice under it, and it could be just this glowing blue under it. Just nothing like that on Rainier. And it was so clear and so blue, you couldn't even tell how deep it was.
Yeah.
That one we were sitting there staring at, I would guess it was probably 12, 18 inches deep. It just wasn't sheer ice and with 1 inch of water, or was it 18 inches of water to the bottom? You couldn't tell.
Right.
You didn't know what you were stepping in. You had to check everything.
Right.
Like just walking through the glacier caves and
Yeah.
down through all the little pathways, and you're stomping through your boots were really waterproof. You could walk in 6 inches of water and just stomping around in there.
Yeah.
There's rivers coming off the side.
And it's places other people can't see. You cannot see this stuff from the road.
No.
And
you can't see it from the end of the glacier. You have to go into it.
You have to go into it. And not only that, you have to walk through what looks like another planet first. Is just gravel mountains. And we've shown this on our previous video of the Root Glacier in Kennecott,
Totally
where
different.
it's dirt.
Yeah.
It looks like dirt.
Yeah.
And we had to walk through these dirt mounds. And it wasn't even dirt. It was actually large black rocks.
Yeah.
Just mounds and mounds and mounds of them. But you have to weave your way around. And every once in a while, there's a giant crevasse right there. And rocks are falling in it. And
there were crevasses everywhere.
Yeah.
Most of them were small, a few inches across.
Yeah.
A few were 10 feet deep. We jumped
Yeah.
across a couple of big ones.
yeah.
And that one was 4 feet across and 8 feet down. Good, safe company. Real professional. Had it all figured out.
Oh, great.
MICA Guides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam was our guide. He was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really well run and good. It was fun. I'm glad I tried it.
She was not scared, by the way. I thought mentally she would tap out long before she would tap out physically. Nope.
I
Didn't scare her a bit.
I didn't. I think honestly the hardest part was as soon as we put the crampons, the bigger spikes? Okay, as soon as we put the crampons on, we now have to we put them on, we sit down in this gravel and we put them on. And now he's like, all right, we're gonna duck walk up this hill. And it's like snow.
25 degrees ice angle.
And I'm like, how am I supposed to do this?
Yeah, you don't know if you could trust him the first time ever.
Yeah, he's like, just trust it. And I was like, I'm not trusting these.
They're great. They're just awkward.
Yeah, I got it. I got the hang of it. But initially it was freaky. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't freak out, and I'm glad I did it. And
get her in the climbing gym now.
I need something better for my feet.
You just wear some nice, easy shoes.
Yeah.
You don't need tight shoes to just go have fun.
So this is our camp spot for the night. We're on a river. We actually found this spot last week when we were driving through. There's a spot kitty corner from where we're at that we pulled into, and it was packed. I didn't realize there was a spot on this side of the river until we drove to our spot last night, and I saw this spot. I was like, oh, let's try that. So, well, we tried a couple other spots first, but there was no camping signs. So
it was a cool spot. It's on the King River.
Yeah.
Water's glacial blue, and it's just a little creek behind us right here, but it flows big. There's many little channels through here, and it's big right there.
Yeah. Yep. So it should be a good spot. Thanks for watching. Join us on our next adventure.